Hi guys, thank you for joining in to my podcast. Today I'd like to talk to you a bit about my first journey into the martial arts from the age of 5, how the attraction came for me to fall in love with the martial arts uh, journey that I had. Okay, so basically, I remember back in 1980, I used to visit my uncle's house quite a bit. It was actually my grandmother's house. We used to go and visit my father's mum, and as I used to go in there, I've got a bit of a photographic memory in my mind, so I can recall things quite well, and I can remember moments very well. So yeah, I remember going in there, and I was always like going through the cabinets, and being 5 years old, you're always like curious about things, and I remember they used to have this almost like a chemist kind of looking water, like green one, purple one, and stuff like that. I can remember all these things. And it was like a narrow corridor that we used to walk down, and I used to walk down, and I used to turn right. And I turned right, that was my uncle's bedroom. And in there was like a shrine of martial arts, And I was looking around, I was always like curious, thinking, wow, look at that flying kick. Look at my uncle's punching there. He had all trophies there as well, like medals and trophies and what, there had tons of them there. And I also remember going into his cabinet and seeing his nunchaku was there. He had his sai weapons there, which you can see behind me, these sais here. Well, these are originally Bruce Lee sais. And he taught me, my uncle taught me how to use the sais when I was 5. So whenever he used to come and see me in his room, he knew that I was in that room because of the martial arts. He knew how to bug for it from a very young age. So he used to put the gloves on my hand and make me punch the pads and stuff like that. And also he used to teach me how to use the sais. So I used to put it in my hand. But I remember like using those sais because they were real ones, very heavy. I used to smack them into the wall. And my grandmother, bless her, she never said anything. She just let me do it, and she said, years later, she said those marks, she kept them, as a memory, as a tribute to me, and she used to tell me, it was still there. Yeah, so, just these kind of things as a child, when you get shown them, these kind of things, you become passionate. I was very lucky that I became passionate when I saw the martial arts because it was within the family, whereas my uncle was the one that he actually practiced the martial arts. My father was not a martial artist. My father was an artist, and I hope I've taken some of his art into the martial arts that my uncle taught me, and yeah, some nice memories of me as a child, being there, and I can remember very, very well. I think it was 1980s, yeah, early 1980s is my best memories. I think, I don't remember much of the 70s. I was too young. But yeah, so also, my uncle used to take me to he used to have like a storage place, and he used to make martial arts equipments, like the punching mitts, the pads, all the pads for like training, punching, kicking, and this kind of stuff. He used to make them, you see. So he used to have like a factory for that, and also like a shop. So he used to take me there as well on his bike, and it's not just me. He used to take my cousins as well. My sister, we used to all go there, and I used to see how it was all made, the pads and stuff like that. And so that's being shown these kind of things from a very young age, like I said, gives you that passion to follow through. So to adulthood, it brought me more like happiness to be able to do martial arts in the sense that from doing it from a young age, I was very familiar with it. It didn't take me long to learn the principles and the aspects of what goes behind it, like say the discipline, which is very important. And my uncle really put that discipline into me. He made me promise him from the age of 7, 8 years old. He made me promise him that I would never smoke, never do drugs, and never drink, and only focus on martial arts. He said, only do that. If you can do sport, and just focus on the sport, fighting sport, and then go ahead and do it. He said, "Do not dabble in anything else. Okay, I'll never talk to you again." He said, so me being like, really super worried about that, so I just went straight into my martial arts. I had a passion for it anyway. I loved it. It's something I loved and I really wanted to do. I wanted to travel the world, even from a young age. I wanted to go to these all different places. I wanted to discover things, different styles in Japan, different styles in Korea, different styles in China. All aspects of fighting I've been interested in, but in the beginning, I was introduced to Taekwondo. Obviously, that was the style that he did. And also, he was a very profound boxer and Thai boxer. My uncle was, in the beginning, he was actually a boxer. And then he went into Taekwondo. And then after Taekwondo, he went into Muay Thai boxing. So, so he was very into the fighting arts. And so, yeah, he was my first person that got me into it from a very young age. And obviously, there was also Bruce Lee. Actually, funny enough, the strange thing about the whole situation is he came round one time to our flat, and we were all like sleeping in the living room. And then suddenly there was a big commercial of Bruce Lee's new movie, Game of Death. And I was falling asleep, so he came and woke me up and said, Mel, come and check this commercial out. I was half asleep, like, what was that? And you could see like Bruce Lee's commercial for Game of Death was kicking, punching, with this big guy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I saw that, and I still remember it. And I thought to myself, what's that guy doing wearing a yellow suit and kicking and punching people using the nunchucks and whatnot? Is he going to start using the slide in a minute as well? But this commercial was so quick that it just went by, and I thought to my uncle, I looked at my uncle, I said, look, we have to try and watch this movie, or where does this guy live? I was very young. I was like, where does this guy live? Can we go and see him? And my uncle never told me that he'd passed away at that point. So seeing that commercial at that age, I think I was probably like 5.5, nearly 6. I don't remember the age, but I was around that age. And that inspired me a lot, And another incident was I was walking down the street with my dad, and he was showing, we were having a look around and stuff. I think he was taking me for a haircut at the time. And there was a big, massive poster of Bruce Lee in The Fist of Fury. And I thought, oh, it's the guy from the commercial. I said, look to my dad, I said, Dad, can you please introduce me to this guy? Look, he's got nunchucks, like uncle and everything. I want to learn from him, And my dad says, oh, your son, unfortunately, he's not here anymore. I said, what do you mean he's not here anymore? He said, no, he's passed away. And at that point, I wasn't really sure, like, what do you mean passed away? What, he's no longer here? Or something, you can never see him? He said, no, son, you can never see him. I'm sorry. Well, I thought, oh, that's a bit of a bummer for me. At that age, I thought, oh, geez. So what am I going to do? So I might as well just, stick to my uncle then, just learn from my uncle. I said, yeah, just stick with your uncle and learn from Uncle Ahmed. So that's how that happened, you see. So kind of like having that from the beginning, that looking at that image of Bruce Lee, that looking at that image of my uncle flying, kicking and stuff like that, imprinted into my mind. And gave me that passion to train hard and just keep training. Because I think, from a young age, anyone, not just me, any young child, I think if you can influence them with a positive way, like sport or something like that, it will help them develop into a better human being. That's what it's all about anyway. Obviously you make mistakes, we're all human, we make mistakes along the way. But we want to try to implement the martial arts the best way we can into our lives. So not only can it help us, it can help other people. Like I said, we will go through things in life, different things. Maybe it's like loss, or we won't get somewhere where we want to get to, but we have to try harder. We got to keep pushing. So martial arts gives you that discipline to keep striving forward, to never give up in life. So that's what it did for me anyway. And I got my uncle to thank for that, and I got CJ Bruce Lee to thank for that as well, because he inspired me also. His films, his philosophy, his Jeet Kune Do, all influenced me and millions of people like me, not just me, okay? And I respect that, and I have a lot of respect for CJ Bruce Lee. and also for my uncle Armin Martirosian, who was a 7th Dan black belt in Taekwondo. And I always have his memory in my heart for when he taught me and everything he passed on to me from a young age. And I hope this has been a bit of an experience for you guys. I mean, it's my first podcast, and I just wanted to tell you my first ever memory and my first ever journey towards my martial arts. Okay, next time I'll talk to you a bit more about my first martial art that I did when I was 7, after I did Taekwondo, because I couldn't find any Taekwondo anywhere. So I started with Judo, and I want to talk to you a bit more about Judo and my experience training in Judo. I did it for 3 months, but I won't talk to you about it now until the next podcast, okay? We'll talk about it and how that helped me. Okay, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Yeah, thank you very much. Take care. Keep training.